remember, referrals, first of all, they're like damn near a shoe-in deal. Like if somebody refers you by their friend, like it's a deal in the bag most of the time. It's super easy to get signed. And then second, it's the fastest way to get a lead without having to freaking bust your ass, like going out and knocking doors. So remember, like if you do 10 inspections a week, like you're aiming to do, and you just get one referral from each of those people, you got 10 appointments for the next week. So you wouldn't even have to knock doors. So, but here's the mistake that a lot of people make. We've talked about, and you've probably heard a video on this that I've done, but there's a passive way to ask for referrals, and there's a proactive way to ask for referrals. Passive sounds like this. Hey, by the way, Mrs. Jones, we actually promise $100 for anyone you send our way that turns into an actual deal. So if you think of anybody, send them my way, I'll give you $100. Well, the customer is always like, cool, yeah, no problem. But guess what happens? They forget about it. You know, maybe by some chance you might end up with a referral from them. And people are happy to refer you. It's just that life goes on. You know, they're not like sitting there going, I can't wait for an opportunity to send somebody over to Ricky, so for my $100 gas card. Like, it's just not on the top of their mind. They've got life going on around them. So what's even more effective and cheaper is you can literally just have like a $15 or $20 gas card, Starbucks card, McDonald's card, Target card, something like that. And all you have to do is it's just like closing on the contingency. Just have a notebook and a page with names and numbers on it. Maybe even if you write them yourself or have a couple other people write names and numbers so that there's different handwriting. It's like, so Mrs. Jones, what do you like better, Starbucks or Quick Trip? And I don't know what gas station you guys have up there, but we've got like Quick Trip. Oh yeah, perfect. This is what every damn day, Ricky. This is my life, iced tea. But it's like, what do you like better, Mrs. Jones? And have them right there. Quick Trip or Starbucks? She'll be like, oh, Starbucks because it's pumpkin spice latte macchiato soy vanilla free fat-free season, whatever. And you're like, great, you're just like every other girl in the United States of America right now, cool. So it's like, cool, Mrs. Jones. Well, I tell you what, I've got a $20 Starbucks card here for you if you'd be willing to do me one small favor. And she'll be like, okay, what is it? And you're like, well, can I be really honest with you, Mrs. Jones? Sure. I hate knocking on people's doors. Like, I don't want to bug people during dinner. Like, I just don't. But unfortunately, like, in my industry, we have to do it because people don't know that they have damage most of the time. And if we don't go and inform them via knocking on their door and letting them know, then a lot of people go and they have to pay for their own roof out of their pocket like 3 years later when it finally leaks. So what the easiest thing for me to do, and a lot of people have been asking me to hook up their aunt, best friend, sister, whatever, because we get them a new roof and then everyone else wants to know how they got it. Well, if you write down 2 people here that might benefit from a free inspection, that's it, that might not have had one already, this is yours. And then just hand over the notebook and the pen, and that's it. Because they've already basically chosen to do that, because you said, what do you like better, this or this? They picked one, so now it's like, okay, hand them the notebook and pen, and then they just do it. And worst case scenario, if for some reason somebody's like, oh, I just can't think of anybody, first of all, it's like, really? Like you live under a rock, you don't know anybody? Just remember, like, if you treat it like it's not a big deal, because it's not, then it's not a big deal to them either. So just be super casual about it. And this is what I was telling Matt. If she's like, sure, and she writes down 2 really fast, be like, dang, Mrs. Jones, that was almost too easy. Tell you what, if you think of 2 more, I'll give you the Quick Trip one too. Toss it on the table. And then they're like, well, okay. And then just use thought joggers like, who do you know from work? Who do you know in the neighborhood? Who do you know from the kids' school? Who do you know that you're related to around here? Who's your best friend? Who's your husband's hunting buddy? You know, etc. Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? And then it just makes it super easy, right? Another thing you can do, I used to sell knives, and so this is direct sales, same thing, and it was 100% referral based. Like if I didn't get my customers to give me people to go see, I had no customers. So it was a pretty dang important part of the job, right? So I got pretty freaking good at asking for referrals. So I would say things like, Mrs. Jones, you know what a lot of people do, or most people do? They'll get out like their cell phone or their neighborhood directory, which whether people did that or not, it didn't matter. But then they're just like, oh, and then they'll grab their phone. It's like this person, this person, this person, this person. And you'll be shocked, Ricky. Like people will hook you up with more referrals than you ever thought was reasonable or necessary. Like every now and again, you'll have somebody who will literally dump their phone out on you or like give you the neighborhood directory and they'll put a check mark. They're like, I know this person, this person, this person, this person. You're like, cool. And if you have somebody who's kind of tough, like someone that's just like, me, I don't know anybody because I'm lonely and everyone hates me or whatever, then it's like, cool, Mr. Jones. Well, hey, it's no big deal. But I mean, who lives right next door here? Who lives across the street? Just get some names because then you can just be like, cool, do you mind if I go and introduce myself and let them know I was chatting with you today? And then they're just like, well, that's fine. Then you get to open them up and you're still getting a big step up with that person who you get to go over and go, you must be James. Yeah, who are you? It's like, sorry to throw you off guard, but Henry across the street, I was actually just over at his house and he actually has some hail damage up there. And he was mentioning that he hadn't seen a lot of roofers in the neighborhood yet, and so he recommended I go and let you guys know what's going on. Basically, what we do is a free inspection, blah, 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 blah. Would 2 or 4 on Saturday work better for you, right? So, yeah. So and there's a whole lesson. You don't have to try to remember all that. So in the online course there's a lesson called 4 Ways to Ask for Referrals. And just go in, practice it out loud a few times. And again, just the way that you talk anyway is going to be like super relaxed. So you already have like this huge one up because you're just like very chill. So when you ask for referrals, it's going to be just super normal sounding. You're not going to sound needy or salesy or anything. So people will be like, oh, Aunt Betty and my brother Joe. It's like, okay, cool. Thanks, Mrs. Jones, you know. But make it a priority to ask for those referrals because it saves you so much dang time. And seriously, like if you could get all of your leads from referral and not have to knock doors, how much better would your job feel? Way more. You'd burn less calories, but other than that, you'd have more time to figure out the Acculinks bullshit, you know, and study your closing and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, I don't mind the door knocking really, but I think it would definitely leads are probably a lot better than door knocking. I mean, for actually getting the jobs and stuff.
For sure.
Especially if especially if you go to that person, somebody that they trust or already know is the one that gave you them as a lead. So
Exactly.
they're gonna be more willing to do business with us.
Well, they're just like they're a warm lead, you know?
Yeah.
So but again, like don't forget that door knocking is the most proactive thing that you can do because you just go out and as long as you're willing to go and do it, you're gonna get deals.
Yeah.
You can't door knock and not get leads. Like that's the fastest way. You don't have to sit around and wait. You're literally creating your business. You're not waiting around for it. But if you knock and you line up 5 inspections a week and you get 5 from referrals, then that cuts it right in half. Half of them are hot already. So it just makes it easier, you know, and that's what it's all about in anything that you do in life, whether it's getting fit or like keeping your house clean or doing this job. It's all the little habits that you form consistently every day that really turn into a huge impact across the board. So every day, knock a few doors. Every time you're on an appointment, ask for a couple of referrals. You know, just do those things day in and day out. And little by little, it all adds up.